So we official or what?
Should be.
So everything looking good from there, looking sharp or what?
Oh.
Notification or what?
Notification.
Oh, man. Just make us realize how much we fucking miss French Quarter Fest right now and all that type of shit. It's like, what can we do, man? We got still distance ourselves at this point, man. Still a little ways to go. The roads got a little bit of a journey left to it. But they ain't gonna stop a podcast, man. We ain't got no sports to talk about. But we're gonna find a way. We're gonna make it work.
Talk about some bullshit.
Man, all that notification stuff gotta be all that's got to get going, man. But we're the Saints Sinners podcast, y'all, back here. I know the date today, man, because I just advanced age in my life over the weekend, man. If you want to get to it, I know what it is, but you say it if you want to say it.
April 13th, 2020.
Dancing pretty proud, man. He's in Chalmette right now, just hating on Taysom Hill every chance he gets. But we're back at it, man. We're a little more than a week away from the NFL draft. I mean, that's really the big talk of the sports world right now. I mean, there's a few other things that went down, but, NBA players are playing the horse. People are watching people play video games. There's not a lot to do with sports right now, but we do have the NFL draft, and it's huge. I mean, the offseason for the NFL kind of keeping us sane right now from a sports perspective. Let me just, we're looking at this draft coming up, Saints 24th pick. Any surprises, man? We talked about the 2 times. We did some stuff on tailgate504.com. You guys see, man, all the stuff's looking righteous. Oh, we got video. See, it looks like he's on a fucking set of Weird Science about to fucking.
I'm the star of the show.
Oh, you fucking.
I'm the star of. You can see your ear right now.
All right, we're gonna set this camera up, y'all.
Podcaster right now.
Yeah, imagine what it would look like before. I mean, the fucking thing before was like further out. Okay.
All right, we're professionals.
We're good now. How we looking?
We're looking good as possible right now.
All right, but anyhow, I guess y'all heard me, but maybe we didn't see me. But what you think?
You was talking about?
Yeah, see, looks like he's on a fucking Weird Science experiment. Like Kelly LeBrock's just gonna come out of the back room for some reason.
Hopefully,
and
comes out with the big, beautiful, round eyes of hers.
Right. But let me ask you this, man. 24th pick in the draft. Anything changing to you as far as, I mean, we talked about this off air. We talked with the guys earlier, man. We had Knowles, who does some writing for the Texans Wire. We talked to the Dancing Bear, who's with us on the Who Dat podcast. Do you see anything different, man, at this point, to the Saints' approach to the first round? Anything changed for you in the last couple weeks?
No, I mean, they're in great position. The Saints are of picking up the best available player. I mean, I don't see any huge need that stands out like sore thumb. I mean, they could go running back, but I think they can just as easily trade down and get, one of the top 5 second round. Honestly, I think there may be 1, maybe 2 running backs tops go in the first round. I mean, it's just a devalued position.
Well, wouldn't it be a smart move a little bit to go running back? Possibly. I mean, I want to keep Alvin Kamara long term. We put an article last week basically saying stop all the Kamara rumors. People need to stop hating on Kamara. We want him to be a long-term Saint. We know what he can do. 3 years with the Saints, 3 Pro Bowls. He's one of the best backs in the game.
I mean, the guy's on.
Do you draft a guy because of his situation?
I draft a guy because I want to upgrade on Latavius Murray. That's why I would pick up another guy. I
can't argue that. And I like Latavius Murray, but is he really a long-term solution at this point?
He's a guy that looks good. You have big, giant holes open for him. He can run really fast, and he's not going to make a lot of moves in the open field. But if you block it for him, he's going to run his ass off. And if you get him into the second level, he's going to look a lot like Derrick Henry,
downhill runner.
But if things get a little muddled in the backfield, he's going nowhere. I mean, I like a guy with a little bit more wiggle. If you can get like a Cam Akers or a Jonathan Taylor, then your offensive running game is just unreal right now.
Would it not? That's what I'm saying. Would it not give you a little bit of that Ingram Kamara vibe a little bit? Because to me, I like Latavius Murray, but when you lost Ingram, you lost something. We saw it last year with Ingram in Baltimore. I mean, he went on to have a 1,000-yard season, made the Pro Bowl, had double-digit touchdowns, was huge for Lamar Jackson in that offense. But to get a guy, like you saying, one of these young cats, maybe in the first round, maybe the third round, maybe a Clyde Edwards-Helaire falls in the third round. He didn't have a tremendous pro day, but we like Helaire as a receiver. He's got a good natural running style.
Go in a second just because what he can do in the passing game. Well, I don't think there's any way he gets past.
Well, let me ask you this. With these LSU guys real quick, we always see teams win championships. Look, let's be real. James Posey got a big contract off of winning a championship with the Hornets when he won with Boston many years. Same thing with college. It seems like it magnifies all the players. I mean, we see it right now with Patrick Queen. Every Saints fan wants Patrick Queen right now. Justin Jefferson is, he had a good pro day. He had a great junior year. But it seems like winning a national title, it seems like everybody wants you to go high now. And you may go a little bit higher than what you're supposed to go. You know what I mean?
Well, you're paying the SEC tax on top of the championship tax.
Right.
Not all of those guys are as good as that championship gleam. I mean,
Pat Mahomes didn't win a national title.
The reason why they won
I'm
a
just
championship is because they got a new offensive mind building, and it completely changed the offense.
Well, and that's
and they've always had studs on offense. I mean, they just finally decided to take the reins off a little bit and open it up. And you saw what they can do with that. They finally got a NFL caliber quarterback back there.
Well, I'll say this: I would rather see out of all the possible LSU players that could go to the Saints, because that's what we do down here. I mean, look, the Gulf Coast, everybody's always quick to put the LSU thing. They want to connect LSU to Saints. It never works. Peyton rarely goes LSU in the draft, and that's fine. To me, I have no issue with that at all. Some fans do for some mysterious reason, but the one player I would be interested in from LSU to me is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, because to me he reminds me of Mark Ingram with his playing style. A little bit different, but similar build, similar playing style.
A little smaller.
Right. He's got a lot of the same, runs hard,
a little more lateral agility.
I think Ingram always had the agility. I think Ingram's more
not
top
quite
speed.
fast as at the top speed, but there's definitely some differences I see. I mean, just the way Edwards-Helaire, kind of diagnoses the second level and gets those linebackers biting into holes and then jumping out, and making those linebackers lose gap responsibility.
See,
that's what really intrigues me with him. Just the way he manipulates guys in the second level. That's the sign of a really good running back and somebody that can contribute at the next level.
Well, see, the thing with Ingram, it always made me miss Ingram to me, and I know you never gave him credit for his elusiveness. I mean, you didn't give him the same credit I did. Let's put it that way. I always thought he was a mix of power, elusiveness, and he had some speed on top of it. Because to me, I've seen Mark make the right move and make a guy miss, or it's help break an arm tackle just by having a little. I'm not saying he's Barry Sanders or Mara back there, but he does. To me, he's not straight, and that's to me with Murray. And it's not against Murray, but having a back that has a little bit of that power, elusiveness, and speed and receiving ability.
You know what I mean? And he's more Barry Sanders than
he's a little more slippery than Ingram is.
Ingram's more power.
Ingram is power, but Ingram can make a move and make somebody miss at the line. That's why Murray doesn't quite have that move,
Ingram's
that miss ability.
Guy that his helmet and
he will
knock Luke Kuechly into the
absolutely
into the retirement.
But I've also seen Ingram make a sharp move at the line and make a cut and get into the open field. I don't see that with Murray, like you said. And it's no offense, no knock on Murray, but Murray's not as smooth of a receiver. He's not as much of a make a guy miss. He's got to have that hole there, or that line has to have some kind of pocket for him to get to that second level of defense. So that's where I like having an Helaire.
The ball slightly behind him, and he turns around and falls down because he can't get his footing right.
People mistaken numbers like catches. He caught 35 passes one year, 40 passes. They think automatically good receiver. You really had to watch tape with that. Like Pierre Thomas to me was always such a smooth, good receiver. Same with Mark Ingram.
75 passes that last year don't make him a good receiver.
Well, it doesn't. No, I mean that's a difference. I mean,
between being a weapon in the passing game and a guy that can catch checkdowns.
Well, no, and that's the thing. And to me, you don't want Murray in the Saints offense catching a lot of passes.
Joshua
to me,
Nunez questions Ingram's consistency.
I mean, to me, I've always liked Ingram. I mean, I think Ingram had the problems early on in his career with the injuries. I think Pierre was kind of the guy being phased out, and it was a little tough for Ingram, I think, coming out. He had the foot issues early on. But, I mean, let's look at what Ingram became. I mean, he's become a heck of a back in this league. But, I mean, to me, a Clyde Edwards-Helaire, if you could get him at the right spot. Now, I don't know if he'll make it past the second. That'll be the big, the $50 million question. Can he make it past the second round and to the end of the third almost? Saints to pick him. The Saints would almost have to get creative and I think trade up to get a guy like Helaire. But to me, does that make you more inclined to go running back
and pick an extra second? Then you take.
You have that option. Yeah. I mean, you could still. I don't think you want to come in with a rookie linebacker. I said it time and time again. It's a hard position for guys to adjust to at NFL level. People are talking about Queen and Murray. I don't quite see them as guys that could step in year one and dominate. To me, Isaiah is that only linebacker I like right now to do that. Unless he falls outside the top 10. I say you got to stay with linebacker in the first round. Because if he falls to 10 or 11, we've always said on this podcast, you get crazy, you get butt naked, you go ahead and trade for this guy. If he falls outside the top 10. But to me, I think Queen and Kenneth Murray, I don't, like you said, we talked about this on the podcast. They're still a little rough around the edges. They're not perfectly seasoned prospects where they're ready to step in alongside DeMario Davis in year one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I still think you might have to get a veteran off the street. Hope for Anzalone to be healthy. Caden Ellis, Robertson. You have a little bit of depth there. You could use another linebacker, but I think you could go later on in the draft and get that guy.
You still have some guys that'll get cut, after June, after you start bringing in rookies in the camp.
The draft happens too, absolutely.
Losing jobs. There's going to be some people that are available, so you still have other avenues to pick up another linebacker.
You don't want to reach for a Queen or Murray. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of mock drafts have those guys.
But I saw some stuff on tape that made me a little alarming, where they would lose gap responsibility and let guys just kind of fly down the field untouched when they lost their man.
It's a lot of speculation too, man. It's a lot of speculation because I mean, who said years ago, hey, I like the Saints with Davenport from UTSA. I mean, who called that? No one called it. And I've seen. I mean, look, let's be real. We go into this stuff. All we can do is just talk shit about the information we have. But people graded Alvin Kamara as a C grade draft pick. I've seen it in local publications. I'm not going to call out any names, although I should. I've seen Alvin Kamara grade of a C back in 2017 in the third round. So I mean, these prognosticators, everybody wants to put certain guys in the top 20, top 25. We don't really know anything. I mean, it's always easier to go back and look in hindsight. But to me, what you're saying about the Saints right now,
this is going to be one of the wildest drafts you ever had because there's pretty much no pro day. You got guys running 40s and magically going from 4.6 to 4.2s. On their pro days with some very questionable time.
With
time
that in mind, does that make you get bold? Do you take a bold approach, being that you're one player maybe away on defense from where you want to be? Do you get bold with that thought process of saying, hey, we could really break out this year. We have a chance to maybe, things are a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the pro days. Do you get more bold in that regard and say, hey, I want to go all in on one guy. Let's trade up and go get this guy or that guy. But let me ask you this. Who are those defensive players? Because once you get past Chase Young, Simmons, to me, and maybe Okudah, there's not a lot of guys, I don't think, that could be that trade-up guy at that point. I mean, who would you even look at that point?
Yeah, I mean, this draft is definitely heavy on the offensive side of the ball. You got, at least 5, pretty damn close to elite level running backs. You got
receivers, man.
Receivers. I mean, this receiver. I mean,
you don't have a receiver. There's a draft you want.
You could look at your board. You could look at my board. You could look at anybody's board, and you could have a different arrangement of 15 guys.
There's some bad motherfuckers.
Guys that can go in the first 2 rounds and be immediate contributor. You got 2 locked in quarterbacks and another 3 guys that are very
that could go absolutely. I mean, what about this?
You got really good tackles in this draft. You got at least 4. High-end
that's a spot
tackles that could go in the top half.
Is that a spot? The Saints, I think, are going to surprise people. I don't think they're going to make any of the. I think it's going to be another Davenport type situation. I think it's going to go a little off the deep end, a little off the radar. An offensive tackle, would it piss you off, covering the Saints, to say, hey, we got Ryan Ramczyk about to be a free agent. Now, we want Ryan Ramczyk back, no doubt. He's one of the best tackles in the league. But you got Teron Armstead on the other side, who's had injury history. Now, he's a great player when he's healthy, but he still has a high contract despite being restructured. He's been around for a while. You maybe get the guy that could eventually supplant him in another year or 2.
I mean, you could find inside guys, at the Golden Corral, but the tackles, you can't.
Got to be a special kind of dude.
Street. I mean,
can't be kicked off the street.
If they have to, fall back on Clapp, that's a scary situation. Ramczyk's locked in, but you can get another tackle to kind of groom behind Armstead while at the same time knowing that he has injury problems. And you set yourself up. Just in case something happens with Ramczyk, I think tackle would be the way to go. Now, do you have to draft? You may have to, move up in the draft to get that guy. But tackle I think is more important than trying to find that golden nugget defensive player, because tackle is where they've had some problems at in the line.
Well, let's look at it this way. I always say, look at the draft. When you're a team, you have a deep roster. You don't have to really go for a need. Like you said, best player was usually the Jeff Ireland, Sean Payton, Mickey Loomis philosophy over the last half decade or so. But you look at it this way. Okay, I look at corner. I think you could take an injury at corner because you got Lattimore, you got Jenkins, you got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, you got P.J. Williams. You know what I'm saying? at wide receiver now, Emmanuel Sanders all of a sudden. If you had to miss Michael Thomas for a couple weeks, I